Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we'll look at type conversion or type casting in Python. Type conversion or type casting in Python. Now, what is the meaning of type conversion or type casting? As the name suggests, converting the data type from one to another, right? We can, if a data is there in one data type, we can convert it into another data type if possible, right? It's not necessary that all the data types can be converted to other data types. There are certain rules that Python follows. We'll look at those. Okay. So let's take an example wherein we create a variable called num1 and we put 100 in it. So num1 is 100. Check the data type of num1, which is int, right? Now, if you want to convert this int into a float, right? So what we should do? We should simply write float, and in round brackets, inside round brackets, we can write the value or the variable containing the value of 100, for example, num1. When we press enter, you get 100.0. What is 100.0? 100.0 is the float equivalent of integer. Now, this value 100.0 has been converted into float. So, 100 gets converted into float 100.0. Now, we can store it in a different variable called num2 equal to float of num1. Num2 is 100.0. Check the type of num2. It will say float. Now, remember one thing. When we change the data type of a variable num1, num1 will not change. Num1 still remains 100, which is an integer. All right. Now, if you want to change the number num1 itself, the variable num1 itself to a float 100.0, then you can do what? Reassignment. How to do reassignment? Num1 equal to float of num1 means you are converting num1 into a float which is 100.0 and then reassigning to the variable, the same variable which is num1. Check the type of num1. It will be float. Make sense? Right? So what we saw that an integer can be converted into a float. Similarly, a float can be converted into an integer. For example, we have num3 56.45. Okay. So type of 56.45 num3 is float, obviously. Now, how to convert into an integer? Int, and in brackets we give the number or the the value itself or the variable storing that value, which is num3 in this case. So int of num3 will give you 56, right? Because 56 is the integer value of the num3 float, 56.5, right? 56 is the integer equivalent of 56.45. Now, let's take another example. Try to convert, let's say 77.87 or 85. 77.85 I'm converting into an integer. Now, again, pause the video and think for a bit and tell think that will it be 77 or 78, right? Will it be rounded off to 78 or will it give you 77? All right. Now, if you thought it will be rounded off, that's not the right answer, because what we are looking for is trying to convert the value of 77.85 into an integer. It never says that it will round it off, right? If you see 77.85, 0.85 is the decimal value, right? The fractional value, and the whole value is 77. So that is what we will get in the output when we convert 77.85 into an integer, not 78. So keep that in mind. It's not rounding off. Okay. So we try to convert a float into an integer. It works fine as well. Now, let's say we have num1 again, which is 100.0. We have num3, which is 56.45. Let's say we have num4, which is again 1000. Take any of these, right? It's an integer or a float, right? Any of these you take, and can we convert it into strings? What do you think? Yes, we can. So if I do str of num4, what should I get? I should get 1000 as a string. How? Like this. Let's put into a variable x equal to str of 1000 or str of num4. Right? X will be 1000 with quotes enclosed. And if you check the type of x, it will not be an integer. It will be a string. See? Why it's a string? Because it is included within quotations, single quotes. All right. This is what we have done. We have converted or typecasted an integer to a string. Again, num4 existing value will not change until you reassign it to anything else, right? Or the string value itself, right? Num4 still will be an integer. Remember, typecasting will not change the existing variable value. Okay. Now again, let's take num3 string of str of num3. We get 56.45 as a string. So what we understand here is anything, any value we are trying to convert, integer or float in this case, two examples we've seen, has been getting converted into string. All right. Now let's take a string value. Let's say s1. S1 is hello. Now s1 is a string, right? Can we convert this s1 into an integer? Pause the video and think. Can we do it? The answer is no, we can't do it. See, value error, invalid literal for int with base 10. Hello. What does it mean? It tried to convert the value which is inside the quotes to an integer, but there is no conversion can happen with HELLO, which are characters. If there were digits inside the string, what do you think? It might work, right? Let's see that in a bit. But if there are characters inside the string, you want to convert into an integer, it won't work. Similarly, if you try to convert the same string into a float, it will not work. Could not convert string into a float. Hello. Right? Let's see other examples wherein, let's say we have s2. We have one string as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So s2 is a string, right? Can we check with a type function? Yes, it's a string. But all the characters of the string s2 are digits, right? Now, if I do type of s2, sorry, when I try to convert s2 into integer by doing int of s2, do you think will it work? Right? It will work. Why? Because, see, it works. There's no error here. We can put it in a variable, let's say y, int of s2, and check y and type of y. You will get int. So, if the string contains properly digits inside it, we can convert that value into an integer like this. Okay. Similarly, if we have, let's say, s3, which is 55.34, right, as a string, can we convert it into a float? Now I should be able to answer this. Yes, we will be able to convert it into a float 54.34. See, there are no quotes in the display in the output, which means it's a float. All right. Makes sense? Now, let's take another example, S4, which is equal to Python 3.13. Let's say 3.13 is the version that we are using of Python. Right? Will we be able to convert this into a float? What do you think? Can we do it? Let's say float of S4. Now, can we fetch this 3.13? These are valid floats. 3.13. Will it work? Let's see. The answer is no. Why? Because it should be purely float values 3.13 only and only should be present inside the string so that it can get converted into a float value. If it has any other special character or alphabets, right, because float does not understand it, right? Float only will understand some digits and a single dot. A single dot float will understand, right? And some digits, some fractional value. Then and only then we will be able to convert it into a float. All right. Otherwise, we won't be able to convert. Similarly, if we have, let's say, S5, or let's simply convert Python 3, will we be able to convert it into integer? No, because there are a lot of characters here, right? We won't be able to convert it into an integer. What about this 1, 2, 3, 4 a as a string? Will we be able to convert it? Again, no. Even though there is one non-digit character, we won't be able to convert it. Even though there is one non-digit, for example, again 1, 2, 3 hyphen. Even though hyphen is there, we won't be able to convert it into an integer. Make sense? Right? Now, let's take one more example wherein we have a variable called a language equal to Python. Okay, it's a string, right? And let's say version. Version is float 3.13. Okay. Now, let's take a scenario wherein we want to combine this together. Let's say the output I want is Python 3.13. Now, remember, how can we do this? Right? String concatenation is something that we can perform here. So, can we do language plus version here? Can we do it? No, we can't do it. Why? See the error. It says type error. Can only concatenate str, not float to str. Now, why this error is coming? Because if you see here, this is what? What is language? Language is a string. But what is version? Version is a float. So when you try to add a string with a float, it won't work, because float addition operation works plus operator works as an addition, mathematical addition, math addition. But with string, addition operation works as a concatenation or joining operation or a join operation. So there is a mismatch, right? Python gets confused. So in this confusion state, Python will give you an error called type error. Now, having said that, what do you think can we do to get this output? I still need this output, and we can actually get this output by using the type casting or type conversion method. How? Let's think for a bit. If you see Python is a string and I want to join this to this, so it means I want to, this value should be a string instead of a float, should not be a float. So can we convert this version into a string? Right? Let's say language plus string of version. Can we do conversion, type conversion of string and then add it together? The answer is yes, we can do that. Right? Let's see. So language plus str of version can be done. So what we are doing here, we are converting the version 3.13 to a string first and then joining it with language, right? So if you see the output, this is how it will look like, Python 3.13. Again, let's try to understand. So what is language? Language is Python. Language is Python as a string, obviously. And plus what we are doing, string of version. What is version? 3.13 as a float. So str of 3.13 as a float. So again, Python plus this will first get converted into a string, which is 3.13. And then these two will join together. Why there is no space? Obviously, there won't be any space because by default, when we try to join two strings together, there won't be any space in the middle. And that's why we get Python Python 3.13. Okay. So that's what it means, right? We can join two strings together. Now, understand again with one more example. If we do 100 plus 100, in this case, remember, this is a string and this is also a string. Why? Because both are enclosed within quotes. If we do 100 plus 100, what do you get? Will you get 200? The answer is no, we won't get 200. We get 100, 100 joined together because again, these are strings. Don't get confused. It's a bit tricky, but if you practice and if you understand the type of the data that you have, it won't be a problem. So when you try to join two strings together, it will be a concatenation. Now, if you want to add these together, let's say these two are stored as strings, right? Now I want to add them together. What you have to do? You have to convert them into integers, right? And what will happen? In this case, 100 string will be converted into 100 integer. This 100 string will be converted into 100 integer. And then 100 integer plus 100 integer will be 200. All right. So these were few examples of typecasting in Python. In the next video, we'll look at more examples of typecasting, and we have not seen typecasting with booleans. So we'll see how we can do typecasting with booleans with other data types. Thank you.